Judy, roll call please.
Bill Armsted,
Present.
John Dooley,
Here.
Gary Bailey,
Here.
Deborah Potter,
Here.
Kevin Whipple.
Here.
Okay, approval of the agenda. Anybody see any corrections, additions, or whatever?
Wanted to add on there for, I guess, new business, and we were talking with Amy Boards about transferring some money from out of the rotary fuel account into our operations.
Okay.
Kind of add that, we could put that,
Put it after approval of bills.
I move we add that item after approval of bills. And other than that, I would move to approve the agenda as amended.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, open the floor up for the nomination for officers.
We'll nominate to have, Bill, if you're interested, retain you as president for a year.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Approved. John for vice president.
I nominate Dr. John Dooley as vice president if he so chooses to accept.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So approved.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
Yeah. Everybody get a chance to read the minutes?
I make a motion, we accept the minutes as submitted.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Financial report, John?
Financial reports in front of you here with the three accounts. You'll see the three accounts in their totals and the total of all the accounts listed below in black. Right there is listed.
Okay.
That'd be the case, motion to approve the, actually, we don't have to approve it, do it? It's accepted. Okay.
We'll skip over the next two since John's not here. Airport manager report, Jerry Scheidler.
Think anybody forgot who I was?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I still have 7 people on the hanger list waiting. The garage door openers finally got installed in the new building. And so I followed up and put electric in to supply them, got that done. And on the security cameras, I got a hold of them because they never did do the battery backups yet. So the guy came in Monday, a couple days ago, and put battery backups in finally. So, does that sound right to you? You're looking funny.
No, I'm listening, cause,
Oh,
yeah, it hadn't been, I know it hadn't been done, so.
yeah, well, I kind of bounced them about it the other day, because they've been kicking out every now and then, those remote ones, you know, and I have to go in and reset the system to get them operating again, and,
So he put battery backups on the remotes, everything, right?
that's the only place they put them was on the remotes.
On the remotes.
He said it was the quote only called for 2 battery backups, and those would be on the remote cameras. Now, if that varies, I don't know about, because I never saw the order, but
I think we need to go back and look at the original quote, cause I thought we asked for battery backup on everything.
well, the only place we could have another would be on the main terminal thing, you know.
Right.
Mhm.
If the electric goes out, the main terminal goes down,
Right.
we ain't got nothing. With the battery backups on the pole, I don't think you're gonna get an image or anything.
I mean, I kind of questioned about that. He said he pulled the order and it just said for 2 of them on there, so I accept, you know, I had to let go at that for the time being anyway,
Do
so.
we
I had
have-
nothing to bounce, nothing to check on.
Do we have a copy of the original quote anywhere? Anybody? Maybe you got that?
Maybe.
I just say, I think we need to take a look at it before we
Okay.
pay it. That'd be my recommendation anyway. I don't know whatever the rest of the board thinks too. I mean,
It's not on your payment approval report.
Correct, it's not.
Have they paid for the initial installation of the cameras?
We just received the invoice.
Oh, okay. All right. Guess there's still got room to argue it then. Anyhow, that's all I got.
Here, one thing, I've talked to you about this, that motion, I got another email yet today, I forwarded to you about that motion system that we have, that says keeps
Oh, I got,
offline again.
last time I reset it, I called the guy direct, or left a message. You know, that was the third time in 3 weeks I had reset it, and they followed up, said still wasn't working, but they would send a replacement unit.
Okay,
And that's been, a week now, I guess, so.
okay, gotcha.
Of course, with the holidays, it might take a while to get here too, so.
Sure,
So that's where we're at on that.
gotcha.
All righty.
Bill, should we put in the minutes, since we had John Feister and he's not here, at least to enter in the minutes the information he sent us?
Probably should.
So there were no action items, but he had project, 5 different project updates.
Yeah.
Did you have a copy, of that, Judy, the updates? Okay.
Okay.
So I would move we include his email project updates in our minutes.
The big deal on this was AFE 21 was approved. He noted that in the email.
Gotcha. I would have to read it. I have this.
Okay. Approval of the bills, everybody
I
have?
made a motion.
Oh, you made a motion, yeah.
I'll second John's motion.
You got a second? Got a third? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Approved. Okay, approval of the bills. Everybody got a chance to look at them? Ms.
Yes.
Amy?
I sent an email earlier today, just kind of explaining a couple of these. The one for BF&S was for outstanding, they're very good at being patient with us until we get reimbursements so that we can pay them. So that has been a long time coming. We finally got the reimbursement, so we are able to pay that. And then the Jackson County Bank interest payments, obviously hoping that as we pay that down, the daily interest rate is already lower, I will say. Right now, it's 50, if I paid nothing, it's $53.75 a day or something like that, which I believe, the last time I checked, which may have been about July or August, it was around 80 a day. So we're bringing it down as we pay off the principal. So that payment is due by the 16th. And then we received the final bill for the 3 garage door openers, which came in lower than we were quoted, which never happens. So I was able to go ahead and get that paid off of the 2024 budget, since what we approved in June was higher than what we were actually invoiced. So that was taken care of on the 24 budget, so we don't have to worry about encumbering, we don't have to worry about any of that. Any other questions about any of the bills? Okay.
No. And we'll talk about the transfer of money, but as far as the bills go, I'd make a motion to approve the bills as presented.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Approved.
Okay, the transfer, I also emailed this morning. I know, obviously, it's an Indiana code. I feel a little bit out on a limb because I have reached out to several different places. Some people responded back with, I have had no experience with that, to absolute crickets. So that's why I think in my email I said I'm proceeding cautiously with this, and making sure that all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed and everything to make sure that we do this correctly. I sent the code itself with some specific parts highlighted so that you can tell kind of where I was coming from. The spreadsheet that I sent you has the fuel fund, what we received every month, what we spent in each month, the total for the year, the total in the fund, which the total in the fund is already 25% higher than what we spent last year. So we didn't even have to add in the fuel total that we currently have, though I learned a lot. Jerry helped me quite a bit this morning, getting all that figured out. So I know I put in the email that I would give you permission for, or not give you permission, ask you for permission for, to move at least 50,000. I would feel comfortable up to 80 or 85,000. The 2 full tanks, if it was what we were quoted today, would be about 60,000 to fill. I would like just a little bit more room than that in case prices fluctuate depending on what happens, especially with snow and whatnot. I know we probably won't have to fill it up. What would you say, Jerry? Maybe March or April?
It's gonna be a little while, we've got quite a bit there.
I just want to make sure, and obviously when it gets sold, it's coming back into our coffers and everything, but I just, like I said, proceeding cautiously for the first time doing this.
Yeah.
So,
I contacted Amy at first about transferring the money from Rotary into operations, and disregarding the Indiana code, which we can't, but disregarding that, approximately $65,000 would fill empty tanks. Our tanks are not empty, but if they were, we'd still have $107,000 we could transfer. But we stick with Indiana code, would be conservative. She's saying 50 to 80 to 85, and again, you mentioned that money's still not budgeted, so we could transfer it, but we couldn't really spend it until it was
correct. It's
budgeted
basically
and
going to go
approved.
into that airport operations pool of money.
Yeah.
We have not appropriated it for this year, but we can take that into consideration when we're budgeting for 26. If we really felt like it later in 25, we could do an additional appropriation if we felt like we really needed to put it towards Jackson County, which I'm assuming is what is on everybody's mind, is what we want to use that for, is putting it toward the Jackson County Bank loan. But we can come back to that later this year if we feel like that's something we need to do. The transfer can happen after the meeting on the 14th. I do have to take it to the fiscal body, which would be the council. They would hopefully approve a transfer resolution, and then it would be in the 8817, the Airport Operations Fund.
So we,
He says move conservatively 50, but we could move more. I would think more moving
75.
70 or 75, something like that. There'd still be plenty of money there to pay all the expenses, whether it's fuel or QT pod expenses or whatever related to this.
And the code does say may at any time transfer profits
Yes.
from the sale of fuels.
And
So we
It
could,
used to say only January, and Bill
Yeah.
said, it used to, I mean,
It used to
years
be
ago,
January.
but they must have changed, and that's good, that we were not constrained to just January
Yeah.
anymore.
yeah. So if later in the year we see that we're doing well, we may be able to move some more, or we just do this again in January, we move another 75, and we're sitting at 150,000, give or take, that we can put toward.
And if fuel prices really skyrocket, if we had to, we could transfer money from the airport improvement fund or the operation fund into the fuel fund too, couldn't we?
Say that again?
We could transfer money into the fuel fund if we actually needed money to pay for fuel.
We could. I would hope that it wouldn't come to that.
Yeah, right.
I can't see how it would, I mean, we always charge, I mean, more, obviously more than we pay for the fuel. So
Right.
I don't know how that would.
Yeah, I would think it.
Just as a backup. Okay.
How much you guys feel comfortable about transferring over?
75.
I make a motion, we transfer 75.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Did you aye?
I did aye.
Okay. Okay.
Aye, aye, sir.
So question, we don't have to deal with this now, but if do we have to wait till the next year to actually use that and spend that towards Jackson County? Is there a way to, even though it's not budgeted, is there a way to?
We would have to go to the council with an ordinance for an additional appropriation.
Okay, that's something.
And that's what I was saying, like maybe if we really felt like, so I've tried to plan out in my head of how we're going to make payments. We already have budgeted a certain amount that we can pay monthly.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping that if we have other things coming in that we can put toward Jackson County Bank monthly, I can kind of keep that total off until later in the year. So I feel like we can kind of make that decision maybe more towards June or July as to whether we want to proceed with an additional appropriation to put it
Gotcha.
towards Jackson County Bank.
Understand, okay.
And maybe at that point, we look at the total in the fuel fund again and see if a transfer at that point would be good, and then have a better idea of what we would really want to do an additional appropriation.
Understand?
Maybe it would be more than that at that point.
Yeah.
Okay, any comments from the audience and the board? I'd accept a motion to adjourn.
Move we adjourn.
I'll second it.
You got 2 seconds, so that makes 3. All those in favor say aye.
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 Meeting adjourned.